Now there should be sound. I heard that. I see it. Now there is sound. I got that. I should have realized that because I got the audio playing back to me on the chat. So I should have known that there was no sound. But now there is. So what's up, dudes? Everybody. I'm doing great. Speeches. We got. I've never seen you in the chat before, unless you're using a different name than I know you as. That's so. So nice to see you. First time live. All right, what's up? Welcome, and what a great time to join. For why not? I had been up until I got my brand new job and doing these. I'm trying to do and somewhat more or less failing spectacularly to do live video like this like once a week, but because my new job I don't have a consistent schedule at the moment, I can't really kind of plan to do weekly live videos. So that's the reason why I haven't done any in a very, very long time. But today is a very special occasion because we're obviously, as the title of this indicates, we're celebrating. We're celebrating 14,000 subscribers on YouTube with a super fancy beer. So we're gonna crack this open and we're gonna enjoy this entire thing live. We're gonna just hang out, chill, have some fun. It's gonna be a good time. Hopefully, it's probably gonna become more fun as time goes on, especially if I could fucking open this. Oh God. Come on, you can do it. Ah. It's coming. Yeah, there we go. Woo-hoo. And a little pop. That's gonna go in a highlight up on a channel somewhere for sure. Always good. We got to get more beers with corks and stuff like that to. Oh Jesus, that's gonna be good stuff. That's gonna be some tasty beer. So yeah, we got this what is this, a pint? Or no, this is not a pint, it is a 750 ml. So it's 1 pint, I don't know, whatever, something like that. But it's a dark Belgian ale. And apparently it is from Belgium, so that's super cool too. But I get you changed your name because it was not Jeremy Jimenez before, but apparently now it is. So thank you for that. I'm glad that it's nice. It's nice to be back. I think I might just kind of try and do one of these whenever I have a day off or something like that. I don't care if it's like on an inconsistent set, like a day that's not set, because I have enjoyed doing the live chats every single week. So it would be really nice to kind of, return back to doing them. But I don't know. I think there's a benefit to having them on a set schedule so that people can know when to show up and kind of plan around that. But at the same time, I think that just doing them just doing them is also 2 thumbs up good. But I kind of would prefer to have for them to be on a set schedule. But maybe going forward, or at least for the new year, starting in 2018, that we'll do these once a week on just any day that I can fit it in. That's definitely a possibility. Yeah, I'll definitely end up posting a notification that will do these, because what I can do, I know for a fact, is I can like schedule these ahead of time in YouTube so that they'll show up in subscription feeds and stuff like that. so that people will know. And of course, I'll kind of like potentially post on Twitter and social media and stuff like that. Um, so that also too, I do have access to the community tab, to community posts on YouTube, so I can post notifications and stuff like that through that way as well. So I got a variety of ways, of course, that I can notify and stuff like that. Um, so that's also a thing. And also speeches to your comments that, listening to me share my thoughts and stuff like that on this music has kind of opened up your eyes and helped you kind of broaden your horizons with the music that you listen to and stuff like that. That's really awesome. I really, really appreciate that. Hearing that, I'm really happy to hear that I am. Are we gonna do this, internet? Are we really gonna do this? Fucking internet. I guess we're gonna do this. I love this shit. This is so good. Thank God for the internet. Okay, we should hopefully, fingers crossed, be back on a consistent connection. I think, hopefully. Fingers crossed, because I don't want to fight this like I have been. I'd be really pissed if we had to like actually fight and struggle to maintain my internet connection, but it seems at the moment that is not the case for the time being. We'll see if that will change. Um, but yeah, when you say that listening to me share my thoughts and opinions has kind of like helped you notice things that you might not have before, and also kind of expanded your horizons of the music that you listen to. I appreciate that. Kind of shows that you're open-minded when it comes to the music that you listen to and the way that you enjoy it. So I really do appreciate that. Um, but the net neutrality, I'm pretty adamantly against the decision by the FCC to eliminate the laws and the legislation that was put in place to, I guess, I am in support of net neutrality. Well, is that right? Is that the correct phrasing? I guess that I want the free and open internet to unrestricted access and all that stuff. That's what I like. Um, that's definitely something that I'm in favor of. Um, and that's really it. I'm not really super educated or knowledgeable on what all of the intricacies of the situation and the issue and stuff like that are. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of what's happened today, to be completely honest. But there's still hope that things will be okay at the end of the day, because it still has to go through Congress for approval. So that's going to be something that's big. As far as this being posted live on the channel as a replay, yes, I am intending on uploading this or making it available for people to watch after the fact as a replay. So if you can't watch this currently, that's perfectly fine. I understand, you got life and stuff like that you got to take care of, or in your case, speeches, you're at work. So I understand that, and you got to do your thing. And I'm going to sneeze. Give me a second. And there we go. It's gone. Just like that. I was preparing for it, and it just was like, nope, just kidding. We're not gonna. It's not gonna happen. Um, yes, it will be available to watch later. That is an interesting taste. It's good though. I like it. Oh, I hope I can. I mean, I think at some point, but sometime by the time I die, I'll have 20 or 30,000 subscribers. But I'm just happy for what I got and the people that you know provide good contributions to the community, that is what I value more than having a ton of subscribers and all that. You know, I appreciate the fact that you guys show up to the live chats, that you guys, you know, leave comments on my videos and all of that. So I love it, and glad that you can stop by for just a couple minutes. Speeches, I'm glad to see you, and I will definitely do my best to do these more frequently, and of course post notifications and all that ahead of time so that you can kind of plan to be here. So that's definitely, well, something that we'll be working on in the future. Because Asuka, thank you very, very much for your wishes, your congratulations, and all that stuff. I do appreciate it quite a lot. And of course, welcome to the live chat. You know, we've done these pretty frequently off and on over the course of the year, and I can't remember seeing your name in a live chat, or necessarily really even being an active participant in the comment section on my on any of my videos either. But you know, it doesn't matter. You're here. So that's all that matters. I mean, I've only been going for 10 minutes or so it's not like, yeah, you haven't missed a whole lot, and we'll be going until I feel like stopping. So that's, you honestly have probably come at the perfect time. And I mean, don't worry about like leaving comments. If you don't want to leave a comment, if you have got nothing to say, or you don't want to share anything or do any of that, you just want to hear what I've got to say, you want to hear me talk, that's perfectly fine. I definitely appreciate that. The people that watch my videos, and just the people that watch my videos, are one of the most the important aspect of the channel, and they're the backbone of what helps build up the community that I've got. So whether you leave comments or not, I appreciate you. I appreciate you supporting me by putting some views on my videos, or giving my views some videos. My videos some views, not my views some videos. But yeah, it's all good stuff. Anyway, glad that you could come out. Glad that everyone could come out. All right. I don't even know what the hell to call you. It has a long ass name. It's perfectly fine, Hunter, and also welcome. Glad to see you in here once again. It's always a pleasure to see you around and participating in the chat and all that stuff and talking. To be completely honest, I'm not Jennifer, call you Jen. All right, awesome. Now I got like I don't have to call you when your life involved K-pop, then K-pop becomes life. I don't have to call you that. That's it's calling you Jen is a lot easier, obviously. But I do appreciate that. I also do enjoy your username, your screen name on YouTube. It's a fun one. It's nice. It's also very, very long, and definitely very memorable because of how long it is, at the very least. But anyway, like I was saying to Hunter, I'm not really necessarily the most informed on K-pop lately either. It's been a pretty average or poor year for me as far as keeping up to date with all the stuff that's happening in K-pop. I've been a huge slacker in that regard. So I'm not really haven't really been following K-pop as closely as I have in the past, unfortunately. We're gonna try and do better. Of course, coming up in 2018, we'll be doing better. What is up, Emma? Long time no see, or maybe not really long time, but I guess maybe long time since I actually streamed last and you were actually here. So maybe that's more my fault than yours. But either way, it's always nice nice to see some familiar faces and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not, dude. I'm not even Hunter. I'm not even trying to keep up with the reality shows like the Unit or Mix Nine or whatever. Like that's the thing that everyone's all focused on and everyone's thinking about and all that right now. But I just like I'm having a hard time keeping up. Not really a hard time, but I'm trying to figure out how I can keep up with work and YouTube and K-pop, and also in the future we're gonna be trying to keep up with school too. So things are going to be busy and hectic. I mean, where I work now, the over the 2 weeks of Thanksgiving, I worked like out of 14 days, I think out of 14 days I worked 12 of them or 11 of them, something like that. I ended up working a shit ton over the 2 weeks around Thanksgiving. Uh, which was good. It's been really good, but that doesn't leave a whole lot of time for doing other stuff outside of work and sleeping, because sleep was very, very important when I was finished with that stretch. Things are, first off, it's good to hear that you're doing well, Emma. Glad to hear that. It would be bad if it was anything other than that, of course. But I've been doing really good. It's been, the last month has been probably, in all honesty, the best month that I have had all year, if not the best month of the last 2 years. That's definitely not really an understatement. It's been really, really good. The whole change of jobs and all that stuff has done great things for me. It's been really, really good. I'm enjoying it a lot. And of course, YouTube is going in a positive direction too, which is also definitely really, really good. It's a lot better than where I was at this point at the same time last year, which was we were going downwards. The channel was dying, but now we're managing to breathe some new life into it, and that's always good. Got a bright, vibrant community here, people who are interested in having some conversation and sharing what they think, and all that stuff. So everything's working out for me really, really well. Cannot complain. Of course, I do wish, it would be nice, right, if I was able to, to build this and have a bunch of other things associated with it, to the fact that I could like make this my living and this could be like my career. But maybe next year. That's a long shot too, but we're working slowly and steadily towards that being the reality. But it's coming up to, of course, the end of the year, the beginning of a brand new year for for everybody, actually, not just you guys, myself included. And I don't specifically know exactly, or I don't specifically have any like wishes or expectations or things that I'm excited about that I know are going to happen in K-pop in 2018 or in the rest of the year. But I'm kind of curious what kind of stuff you guys are looking forward to, and and what are some things that you guys would like to see happen, and what kind of stuff you would like to hear in 2018. I'm pretty interested in that. I've actually heard that FX is actually planning on having a comeback. I think it is in January of next year, with a producer who produced what? They produced for somebody. I don't remember what the producer was. I just saw a brief like tweet news thing. That's actually a really, really exciting little bit of news. I'm pretty stoked about that. First off, because FX is going to be making a comeback. That's always good to hear that. And then just the fact that they're going to be doing what FX has done over the last couple of years, and they're going to be bringing up a completely different change of sound and all that for them. It's going to be really, really exciting. I'm absolutely stoked for that. it's probably gonna be. I mean, at this moment, it's the most anticipated comeback for me personally that I'm like looking forward to in the next 2-3 months that I know of. I don't know very many, to be completely fair and honest, but I'm looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. I'm stoked to hear what they come back with too. It's gonna be very interesting. I mean, ever since it's behind me, ever since Pink Tape, ever since Pink Tape, I've been a really big fan. It's been a very interesting sort of journey to follow FX and the music that they've been releasing. Not all of it has been stuff that I've loved, but you got a flat. Oh, geez. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, hopefully, Jen, you get your flat tire taken care of without much hassle, and I guess you can join back or watch the replay or just probably go to sleep because you probably or get a beer or something like that. I don't know, whatever you want to do to like de-stress. I'm sure that at some point that would be something that you would need to take a little mental break. I would imagine, but Pink Tape is a really great album. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite. Actually, it is my favorite album from FX. Which I also do have there. Is it Four Walls? Yeah, it is Four Walls. That's the name of the song and the album, I do believe. That album is also. That album is also really good too. But Pink Tape is probably, in my opinion, the best FX album ever. So that's good. I don't think being hungover is a good thing. I don't think killing your hangover with the beer is the best way to go about it either. But what do I know? I don't normally drink that much. Um, but hopefully last night was fun, I guess. I don't know. Personally, not my idea of a good time, but to each his or her own. Has FX lost their kind of peaked? I think FX has peaked. They're past their prime, I think, for without a doubt. But I don't think it matters. Yeah, I can imagine the nights in Korea are always a good time with the drinking culture and their propensity to consume alcohol. Um, I can only imagine. But anyway, I think FX really has had peaked potentially a couple of years ago. In all honesty, not in like the quality of their music or how much I've personally enjoyed it or anything like that. But I think definitely with album sales and their popularity and their reputation. Um, but kind of like how I talked about in my video, my Sunday discussion video, where I kind of talked about or answered the question, shared my thoughts to the question of what exactly makes a group successful in K-pop, and the fact is that FX are a very successful K-pop group. They're they're of course are an SM group, so that immediately gives them a really strong fan base, and they're not at the top of the game in K-pop, and it's really crowded up there, and there's only a couple spots, to be completely honest. So it's not like FX, you know, um, if they ever did have a chance, they definitely don't have a chance to be at the one of the top girl group in K-pop anymore, and they've just kind of found their spot where the group is sustainable to continue releasing music, and the members are I would assume earning an acceptable living and all that stuff, and that they're happy with that, and they're happy with what they're doing. That makes them successful, and they're doing a really good job. Personally, as long as they keep releasing good and interesting music, then I think that they're a successful group. They're not going to be killing it on the album sales and the charts and stuff like that anymore, but music is really hard to make a living in. So if you can make a living, if you can succeed, if you can make it past the first 2 years, even the first year in K-pop, then I'd say that group's a successful group. Um, which, I mean, I've already talked about this all in a discussion video a couple months ago, I'm pretty sure. So, you know, if you gotta want to hear my thoughts on that further, then definitely go check out that video. Check out the playlist in that, and yeah, and do that. Of course, if you have any questions, general questions and stuff like that that you guys want to hear me, you know, talk about in regards to K-pop that's not specifically about the music, then definitely leave suggestions, because I'm always open to new topics, and I will add them to the list that I make available for my supporters over on Patreon to vote on and choose for the week. So, you know, if you want to get involved in the channel that way, you can do that. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. And I do have a link to my Patreon in the description down below this video here. So if you want to go there, give me a follow, give me some support. That way you can get a little bit of a closer involvement with the channel and do whatever you want to do. And like I said, if you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine too. I'm okay with that. I don't really know what else, like, as far as like topics for K-pop and other stuff like that to talk about. Oh yeah, didn't Dreamcatcher have like a small tour? Like they played like 2 or 3 shows in South America. They performed, because K-pop groups don't play, they perform. I thought they performed a couple of times in South America, which is awesome. And didn't they also, or wasn't it just announced too that Dreamcatcher was going to be making a couple appearances in Europe too? Or was that a different group? I think it was a different group. But yeah, it's really kind of interesting to me, like, that South America kind of seems to be. It's actually. So let me rephrase that. It's kind of surprising how big of a market that. That how big of a market South America is for K-pop. I mean, even when it comes to people who follow my channel and who watch my videos, like there's a ton of people who watch my videos from like Brazil and, you know, some of the bigger countries. Obviously, they got more people in South America. It's pretty amazing. So actually, let's bring those numbers up real quick, because I can actually do that. And to take a peek at where all of my views have come from for the year, which will be an interesting kind of thing to look at. Potentially, hopefully you guys will find it a little bit interesting, because I always find some of this stuff pretty interesting. Yeah, so for the year of 2017, in the top, was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Yeah, Brazil has the seventh highest number of total views on my personal channel, coming in at 36,601 total views across all of my videos this year, which accounts for a total of 2.6%, which, relatively speaking, is actually a pretty big number. So that's really, really awesome. Mexico's also representing pretty hard too, with nearly 27,000 total views. What else have we got? We got Chile and Argentina at like 12 and 10,000 total views. Peru, 9,000. So South America, you know, represents pretty heavily in the top 25 geographic locations for where views come from. So that's definitely pretty impressive, and I definitely do appreciate that. Something that I also do notice too is a lot of the people that end up following me on Twitter are Spanish speaking accounts or accounts that post in Spanish. So that's also really interesting too. One of the things that I wish was that more people, that I could actually get my videos translated into Spanish, that I can get Spanish subtitles and stuff on my videos. But I've had a couple people do it, but it doesn't seem to be a thing that is done consistently, which is fine. That makes sense and all that. But it's I wish that I could get my videos translated into different languages more frequently than they are currently. But if I would really, really like, that's one of the aspects, Emma, of being in Korea that I'm really, really interested in. Because obviously, like K-pop and all that stuff, just kind of similar to like it is in the United States, is like, is not really a big part of daily life aside from being background music in stores. Where pop music is, where pop music is really just, I don't know, a form of just basic average entertainment that most people don't care about too much, that they don't follow as much. Unless, of course, because pop music is aimed at teenagers, and as people grow up and they go to school, they get a job, they have kids, they get married, they have kids, they do all that other stuff, they get older, they don't have the time to follow K-pop or listen to pop music and stuff like that. And so that's just kind of why it's not as popular, but it's really interesting. But I mean, it's the same thing. Like the way that it is in the United States is like pop music is used, and the people who are like singers and groups in pop music are used to merchandise and sell products when their music shows up in commercials, and and they use their faces and their image and their they appear in commercials and stuff like that to sell products. It's the same thing that happens in Korea with K-pop and idols and actors and actresses and stuff like that. Another big thing that I think that a lot of foreign people kind of don't necessarily understand or realize about K-pop is that the reason why K-pop has been pushed so heavily, and by the Korean government specifically, which is 100% the reason why there is why KCON exists all over the world, and that K-pop groups go on world tours and other stuff like that, is because the Korean government is like the Ministry of Culture or something like that. They view K-pop, whether that's the music or dramas or movies or food or beauty products or any of that stuff, they view it as a way to promote Korea and drive tourism, which is definitely a thing. Like it definitely does attract people to come to Korea. So it's definitely a thing to just promote how, and just to kind of show off how prestigious and awesome and cool and all that stuff for Korea. K-pop and all that stuff is just an advertisement for Korea at its very, like, at the very core of it all. Once you kind of like peel back all the layers and dig through all of it's just an advertisement for Korea to attract people to come and visit and all that. So, which makes sense that wouldn't necessarily be something that would appeal to just most of the people most people in Korea who are over the age of 20 or 25 or 30 or something like that. So like I said, once you get to a certain point in your life, then you just don't have time to follow or care about the mostly stupid stuff that you kind of hear and talk about and all that stuff in regards to pop culture stuff. So which that's also a very interesting kind of topic to talk about for an upcoming video. I might have to write that down. Yeah, I do think, Hunter, that the age of people definitely does kind of that the age definitely does play a part. I will definitely, say that is 100% a big factor in it. But if young people don't hear what it is, don't know anything about K-pop, then they won't be able to like it. They won't have the opportunity. So I'm kind of interested, what the what the focus is within the K-pop industry, within the from coming from K-pop companies or the Korean government itself or anything like that. I'm kind of curious what the focus is on, like how much they're trying to promote Korean culture, Korean pop culture within South America or to a South American audience. That's a really interesting it's a really interesting thing that I would kind of like to get a little bit more information on, because I have no idea. I just have my own personal experience within the United States. Are we back? Please don't tell me I completely lost my connection. I better not have. Now we're back. Okay. Oh, right. Um, but yeah, I mean, getting, listening to K-pop and like dancing to it and stuff like that in clubs. It's the same. It's just, people do the same thing to pop music in the United States as well. It's, kind of the perfect setting for that. That's kind of what it was made for. It's super catchy songs that are really easy to kind of like, feel and dance to. And that doesn't mean that people like them or anything like that, necessarily that they love them, but they're just songs that aren't necessarily the most. I don't even know where I was going with that. I just had a thought and then it just poof vanished out of my brain. Um, and then do that. It's actually kind of that's interesting that you say that, Emma. That they're trying to push traditional culture more. Um, which I guess that makes sense, is because they already have a they already have plenty of attention from people all over the world because of how much they've pushed their pop culture and stuff like that. So now it's definitely the perfect time to start trying to kind of push some of the traditional Korean history and other stuff like that in their own like actual real culture, um, to the people that they've already got who are already looking at Korea with interest and all that stuff. So it's a really kind of interesting tactic, I guess, to capture people's attention um, and then promote all of that stuff. It's really really fascinating, um, the entire thing that Korea has been doing and all that stuff when it comes to the Olympics and like building up and promoting the country in the years, because what is it, the Olympics are next winter, I believe, um, or they're coming up very very soon. And I think it was even 2 years ago. I remember I watched, it was a 4 episode long um, K drama. I think it was called Puck or something like that, um, which was a drama about that kind of revolved around a hockey team. And like that doesn't make any sense in Korea. Like they don't watch hockey. They don't like hockey. They got I think two hockey teams that are that compete in some like East Asian hockey league that's got teams from China, Japan, South Korea. I think there's a couple other Southeast Asian countries that have teams as well. But hockey in Asia is not a thing. It just isn't something that anybody cares about. And um and they made a short drama admittedly about a hockey team. And at the end of the episodes, right, because it's kind of by law, they have to advertise, they have to show and disclose all of the people who kind of funded who have some sort of advertisement or contributed some sort of funding to making that drama happen. And there was it, was it the I don't remember exactly what it was. it was either the tourist something or other for Korea, or the something was like specifically associated with the Olympics. But this goes back to like 2015. They were starting to kind of promote the Olympics a little bit. Um, with hockey of all things is the thing that I most noticed. And the reason for that though is because, of course, because South Korea is hosting the Olympics, they're already automatically, their hockey team qualifies for the Olympics. Um, and so they kind of promoted that. They've been kind of promoting that a little teeny tiny bit. Um, and it's just been a thing. I mean, like there was a presence, a promo booth for the Pyeongchang Olympics at KCON of all places. Like, I don't specifically know why. Like, you could take a picture with the mascots. Um, I mean, it's gonna be a really interesting kind of period of time for South Korea to see what happens, because it's definitely like their time on the stage right now, at least in modern times. Like, they did host the World Cup with Japan a decade ago, I think it was in 2000, or was it 2001, 2002? It was something like that. Maybe 10 years ago or something like that. But I mean, every country's kind of going to go through the where they're going to have like a big boom in their growth, whether that's in all aspects of the country and all that stuff, and then they'll fall off. So if you look if you just kind of measure pop culture and how that's kind of been exported to the United States in the past, J-pop and Japanese pop culture and stuff like that was really, really big. They were really pushing it, where they weren't kind of clamping down on the spread of all of that stuff, through like the 90s and the early 2000s, which is when you get a lot of the animes, and J-pop was a really big thing and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of died down. The Japanese government, I guess, didn't, or whoever, didn't necessarily see the value in building up a really, really big fan base for all of their domestic mangas and all that other stuff, because they like absolutely clamped down, and they dropped the hammer hardcore on people that they catch, doing this, was it the scanlations, where they kind of like copy the pages and translate them for people so they can read them online and stuff like that. It's but it's really, really interesting. I mean, Japan, I guess Japan kind of, for a period of time looked at what people like. They wanted all that attention, and they got all that attention for a lot of the stuff. And then I guess at some point they kind of realized that, maybe maybe that isn't really kind of the direction or the way that they want to attract people to their country or stuff like that. I don't specifically know, because I've never been interested in Japan that much in that regard. But it's been kind of interesting. I think that K-pop and Korea is kind of going to kind of go through a little bit of a phase that Japan and J-pop did, where it's going to definitely dip in popularity at some point. When that's going to be, I have no idea. But that Hallyu wave is, just like as any other wave that you see at the beach, it will crest and it will crash and it will die at some point. I think that's pretty much a given. We're just riding it out, and enjoying what happens. And hello, Bunny from Brazil. We were just talking a couple minutes ago, or maybe 10 minutes ago, how many fans I've got, how many viewers I've got that come from Brazil. So, it's awesome and interesting to see that I've got yet another Brazilian who's in the live chat here, or at least from South America, because I believe that Hunter is from South America as well, if not from Brazil. So I'm glad to see you. I'll be stoked to visit Japan too. I'd be psyched for that. It would probably be a really super fun time. I wish that I could go visit like Japan, Korea, even China. I'd like to go visit China too. I like just honestly just like to go visit some other place in the world that is not the United States or North America. Um, Canada, I don't know necessarily if I'd be super interested in going to Canada. I mean, I wouldn't turn it down, obviously, but if we're gonna pick a place in North America that I want to go to, probably more Mexico than Canada, to be fair. Um, but I don't know. I just want to travel, go visit some places, go get outside the United States, gain a little bit of a different perspective on the world and people's way of life and the way that the things that they see as important and the way that they view the world and all that kind of stuff. Um, Interacting with foreign people like that, I think kind of broadens people's horizons and all that, makes them a more well-rounded person so that they can appreciate a lot more things, which is something that I really wish that I could do, like experience in person. Like I think I got some of that, secondhand through the internet, but it's not the same as picking it up first person. Dude, I would absolutely love to go visit Korea. It's like it is ultimately my goal. If not to spend, like live there for a somewhat significant amount of time, like I would love to just like visit for take a long visit to South Korea for you know to go for a couple of months or something like that. Visit some places, of course Seoul, but Busan and some of the other larger cities, and go explore the countryside of Korea as well. Definitely on my list. I think that what I would do if I would go, if I wasn't like teaching or something like that, I absolutely would go during the summer, and then we would hit up some Korean League soccer games. We go watch some Korean soccer. That would be pretty nice. I want to, yeah, Daegu too. I want to visit like some of the, go check out all the cities and stuff like that down the southern, I guess end of the country. Seoul is nice and all that stuff, but it being a northern climate and stuff like that is, well, I guess Busan and stuff like that isn't necessarily the most dramatically different, but of course, it's a completely different kind of vibe because it's not necessarily as big as Seoul is. So, um, but yeah, Daegu, um, Busan. Obviously, you want to go check out Jeju as well, because who doesn't? Never been there before, so it looks like a really nice place. So why not? I don't think that you need, if you're gonna go to Korea, that you need to go to Seoul. Like it's obviously the center of like everything in Korea, or at least it seems like it. But there's so much more to appreciate in Korea than just the the stuff in Seoul. That's one of the things I kind of have a viewpoint when it comes to traveling around the world and stuff like that, when I go someplace, like I don't necessarily want to go hit up all of the museums and all that kind of stuff. um I want to go kind of like experience what it's like to just like, I don't know, be an average person in the country, and experience some places that are, off the beaten path when it comes to, things that tourists are personally interested in and stuff like that. Like, like I said, I want to go spend some pretty good time in Busan specifically, is like the probably the second highest city that I want to check out. But I also, Daegu, like you said, is a city that I want to check out too. Um, but but I don't know. There's all kinds of um, interesting places to check out. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say going to North Korea is a bit off the beaten path. To Not very many people get to do it, to be honest, but it is kind of it's kind of a little bit of a tourist attraction to it at the same time. So I don't really specifically know. Um, but yeah, I don't know. So like I kind of want to just kind of visit the cities that I have ideas that I kind of want to visit. Um, are all really cities that have, back when I was following the K League, the soccer league in Korea, they're all cities that had teams there. So um, so Busan has had a team. Daegu had a team. So Pohang has a team. Um, Gwangju has a team. Jeju also has a team. I want to check that out as well. Um, Ulsan. So I mean, there's a bunch of like small, medium-sized cities that I want to go check out and see what's up. Go see a soccer game at the very least, and see what's going on over there. I think that would be a really kind of fun way to spend the summer, traveling around Korea to go watch soccer. Wouldn't that be a lot of fun? There was a there was an earthquake and all that stuff. Ah, nah, man, I'm not. This is the thing when see, since you talk about vlogging, man, like I want to vlog. I don't. It's like I like watching vlogs. I'm subscribed to to a pretty decent amount of people who vlog stuff, whether that's in Korea or any of that stuff. But it just isn't it just isn't my thing. I mean, here's the thing that kind of gets me, and becomes a little boring when it comes to the when it comes to Korean vloggers and stuff like that, is like a good majority of them, maybe it's just the people that I follow, but a good majority of them are so into the the fashion aspect of Korea, and stuff like that, whether that's makeup or actual fashion, or going to pretty places and cafes and doing all that kind of stuff. And like, that's cool and that's super super interesting to me, but that's not my vibe. That's not my aesthetic. That's not the stuff that I have any sort of interest in. I don't want to go to Instagram worthy cafes every single freaking day. It gets boring. Like, it's cool stuff. It's definitely some really really cool stuff to see, but just cruising around Seoul, drinking coffee and eating stuff at cute cafes and bakeries and going shopping and stuff like that, it's not my thing. And that isn't to say that their videos and their content is like poor or anything like that, but um but yeah, I don't know. But I think that, so like, if I actually got the opportunity, right, to go to Korea and vlog like that, that my kind of perspective would be radically and drastically different from what a lot of other people who vlog their experiences in Korea would be, who, whether they're a daily vlogger in Korea, um, or anything like that, like my perspective and the things that I do and what I find cool and interesting, what I've got to say and the places that I go and all of that kind of stuff. You probably won't find that on any other YouTube channel when they're a Korean channel, or when they're a vlogger in South Korea. All of them are based in Seoul, and they never leave Seoul for the most part. It becomes really really boring because they all they all vlog in where, in Gangnam. What are the other Hongdae? What are the other popular neighborhoods in Korea that are really big with all of the super fashionable and young people and all, especially the foreigners? Um, it all becomes boring. I mean, I think that, like I said, if I was going to go to Korea for a summer, for 3 months, 4 months, and I would do what I just kind of outlined that I want to do, go on a tour of South Korea, go watch soccer, go, visit a bunch of smaller places and stuff like that. You wouldn't see any of that anywhere. Nobody else who vlogs anything in Korea would cover any of that. Not even to mention that I don't know of a single vlogger who is really actively connected to anything other than mainstream music in Korea, who has any sort of interest in listening to that stuff and exploring it and sharing it, and any of that. And again, none of this is saying is like a knock against them, or saying that what they're doing is bad or anything like that, because it's not. It's just is not the way, not the kind of vlog that I find super super captivating and interesting. It becomes really kind of boring and repetitive every single day, because most of the content in their videos is not interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and this thing too is like, I would love to vlog more than I do here, but when it comes to showing daily life, like, daily life is boring. Nobody cares. Nobody cares when, I, like, the other day I didn't even leave the house. I cleaned the bathroom. That's what I did the other day. you know, I drank coffee. I cleaned the bathroom. I made YouTube videos. That was all I did. How do I make that into an interesting vlog? I just don't think that I can. I don't think that anyone's actually interested in that. Not to mention, I don't want to show off me cleaning my bathroom, to be completely honest. Um, so there's always some really, really, this it's really, really hard to vlog if you don't find interesting things to do on a daily basis, or every other day, or whenever you decide to vlog. So, I mean, that's kind of the reason why a lot of the people who vlog in Korea or who vlog in Seoul end up being very kind of generic, because they all end up going to the same places and doing the same kinds of things, and all that kind of stuff. Um, but if I was gonna be a vlogger in Korea, mine would be completely different. I'd be doing completely different kind of stuff, for the most part. Yeah, and then, I mean, that's also a thing too. Is like, I mean, going to the point, Emma, of not being able to find any stuff that about Busan specifically that's not, like, tourist information, is that, you know nobody, there aren't very many, if at all, any prominent actual, internet personalities who vlog in Korea anymore, outside of Seoul anymore. Like, I think the furthest out from Seoul that any major vlogger that I know of lived in, it was when Hallyu back. I believe they lived in Suwon, which is a little bit south of Seoul. I believe that's where they lived. Um, And I mean, that's not really super far crazy out of the way. Still definitely a civilized and populated, heavily populated area of Korea, as like a lot of cities are. But I mean, there aren't very many people in, or if anybody in Busan who is gonna be sharing what they're doing and the cool and interesting stuff for everyday people who live there to do and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, and that's it. To be honest, like people are like, oh man, it must be so interesting you live in this part of the world that's not even mine. Like even within the United States, people are like, when I first moved here, and I was like, yo, it snowed here like 2 entire inches. And I had friends that were like, oh my God, it's so cool. It must be amazing. I'm like, nah, I mean, it's cool to go play in the snow sometimes, but it's not really that cool to live in the snow. Like the snow's not that great. Living in a foreign country is great, but you also have to live there. So nothing actually changes from you living your life where you originated from, you know. Um, yeah, I mean, people. Bunny makes a very very good point. Is that people do have this kind of, you know, perception and view that going to a foreign country, whether it's Korea or otherwise, is going to be like a completely different situation and a completely different, way of life and other stuff like that than what it is when you live in the United States or England or Germany or anywhere in South America or anywhere like that. Like your daily life and the things that you have to do every single day don't change. If anything, they become harder to actually do. Like it becomes harder to feed yourself and shop for groceries and pay your bills and get around and buy things and do all this other stuff in a foreign country if you're not, somewhat fluent and able to navigate that kind of aspect of living there. It doesn't necessarily become interesting. It just becomes fucking hard to live in a foreign country. And that is also true. Every place has its downsides. Just like I think that I would literally murder uh, a bunch of people for the ability to live in Los Angeles for the rest of my life. But at the same time, there's a lot of things about LA that, like, while I absolutely love living in Los Angeles, there's a bunch of stuff about LA that I kind of have potentially forgotten that I don't like about it so much compared to where I live now. So, everything has upsides and downsides. But like I'm very very much aware that there are things about living in Southern California that I really really like, and there are things that I don't like. And there are things about living in Louisville or living in Kentucky that I do like, and there are things that I don't like about it. And I just kind of figure out what I can live with the best and what I can cope with the best. And it is just kind of having a little bit of awareness, I suppose. I don't really know, but having the ability to kind of think and recognize that kind of stuff. Um, and I can't really imagine. I don't hope, which I imagine that will happen, that if I ever do move to a different country to go live there for an extended period of time, that, like, I imagine it's absolutely 100% going to happen where I end up getting homesick and I just want to go back home where everything's familiar and I'm comfortable and I feel safe and I feel confident going down going down to a convenience store to get a freaking energy drink or any of that kind of stuff. Um, Walking down the street, ordering some food, getting lunch, it would be. I absolutely imagine how just like there's some days or weeks or just an hour, even a minute, 30 seconds, where you're just like, I'm fucking going home because this is hard. I can imagine that. I can absolutely imagine that. That's the thing that people don't really, think about all of the hard aspects of living in a foreign country. You know, just despite the fact that there might be some just absolutely huge, massive upsides and, great things. And people just don't think about the downsides so much, which also are equally as massive as like the big things that you enjoy about it. Um, yeah, it's just what it is what it is. It sounds sending four cop cars to to put down a noise complaint or to deal with the noise complaint kind of seems a little bit like what the police around here kind of do sometimes, because especially